Why does your body jolt you awake at 3:33 a.m., leaving you wide-eyed and uneasy? This isn't just a random occurrence or a quirk of your sleep cycle. The phenomenon of waking up at 3:33 a.m. has deep roots in psychology, spirituality, and even biology. It's a moment when the veil between our conscious and subconscious minds thins, revealing hidden truths about ourselves and our world. Today, I'll discuss the reasons behind this mysterious wake-up call and what it might mean for you. But before we look into the reasons why you might be waking up at 3:33 a.m., let's understand what this phenomenon really is. The 3 a.m. wake-up, often called the witching hour, is a common experience where people find themselves suddenly awake in the early hours of the morning, often feeling alert and uneasy. When this happens consistently at 3:33 a.m., it takes on an even more significant meaning for many. This time has been associated with supernatural events, spiritual awakenings, and psychological phenomena across various cultures and belief systems. Some view it as a time when the boundary between the physical and spiritual worlds is at its thinnest, allowing for increased spiritual activity or communication. Others see it as a crucial point in our sleep cycle, where our minds are particularly vulnerable to stress and anxiety. From a scientific standpoint, this time often falls within what sleep experts call the third sleep cycle, a period when we're more likely to wake up naturally. However, the consistency of waking at exactly 3:33 a.m. suggests there might be more to this phenomenon than just biology. Now let's explore the 10 terrifying truths about why you might be waking up at 3:33 a.m. 1. The whisper of your subconscious. Your 3:33 a.m. wake-up call might be your subconscious mind trying to get your attention. During sleep, our conscious mind takes a back seat, allowing our subconscious to process information and emotions we've suppressed during the day. Waking at this specific time could be your mind's way of ensuring you remember important insights or revelations. Think about the last time you woke up at 3:33 a.m. Did you have a lingering thought or feeling? Perhaps a solution to a problem you've been grappling with? These moments of clarity aren't coincidences. They're your subconscious mind breaking through the noise of daily life to deliver crucial messages. To tap into this phenomenon, keep a notebook by your bed. When you wake up at 3:33 a.m., jot down any thoughts or feelings you have, no matter how random they might seem. Over time, you might notice patterns or insights that could significantly impact your waking life. 2. The Devil's Hour. You've probably heard whispers about the Devil's Hour, that eerie time between 2:33 a.m. and 3:33 a.m. when the veil between our world and the supernatural is said to be at its thinnest. But why does this particular time slot strike fear into the hearts of so many? Interestingly, about 50% of people who report waking up abruptly during the night say it happens around 3 a.m. This isn't just a coincidence. There's a potent mix of cultural beliefs, religious symbolism, and biological factors at play here. In occult beliefs, this hour is considered the peak time for paranormal activity, some associate it with demonic forces, seeing it as an inversion of the time of Christ's death, 3 p.m. The idea is that evil entities use this time to mock the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. 3. The biological reason. While the spiritual and psychological explanations for waking at 3:33 a.m. are intriguing, we can't ignore the biological factors at play. Our bodies operate on a 24-hour cycle, and certain times are associated with specific bodily functions. According to traditional Chinese medicine, 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. is the time when our liver is most active. If you're consistently waking up during this time, it could be your liver crying out for attention. Moreover, the body's circadian rhythm, regulated by the hypothalamus in your brain, controls your sleep-wake cycle. This internal clock is influenced by external factors like light exposure and eating patterns. Interestingly, research has shown that our core body temperature reaches its lowest point around 3 a.m. This drop in temperature can sometimes cause a brief awakening. If you're consistently waking at 3:33 a.m., it could be that your body temperature is hitting its low point at exactly this time. In addition, the hormone cortisol, which helps regulate our sleep-wake cycle, begins to rise in the early morning hours. For some people, this increase might trigger wakefulness around 3 a.m. So the next time you find yourself wide awake at 3 a.m., remember, it might not be a demon at your doorstep, but your liver asking for a lifestyle check. Balancing your diet, reducing alcohol intake, and managing stress could be the exorcism your sleep schedule needs. 4. The echo of ancestral trauma. Believe it or not, your 3:33 a.m. wake-up might be linked to events that happened long before you were born. Emerging research in the field of epigenetics suggests that trauma can be passed down through generations, affecting the way our genes express themselves. Dr. Rachel Yehuda, a professor of psychiatry at Mount Sinai School of Medicine, has found that children of Holocaust survivors have altered levels of cortisol, a stress hormone, similar to their parents. This suggests that the effects of extreme stress can be inherited. Your consistent 3:33 a.m. wake-ups could be an echo of this ancestral trauma. Perhaps your great-grandparents experienced a significant event at this time, and the memory has been passed down through your DNA. This doesn't mean you're doomed to relive their trauma. Instead, it's an opportunity to acknowledge, process, and ultimately heal these inherited wounds. To explore this possibility, research your family history. Look for patterns of stress or trauma that might coincide with your nighttime awakenings. By understanding and addressing these ancestral echoes, you might find yourself sleeping more peacefully through the night. 5. The spiritual alarm clock. In many spiritual traditions, 3:33 a.m. is considered a potent time for communication with the divine or higher realms of consciousness. This belief stems from the idea that at this hour the physical world is at its quietest, allowing for clearer spiritual messages to come through. Doreen Virtue, a well-known author in the field of spirituality, suggests that seeing 3:33 could be a sign that ascended masters or spiritual guides are trying to communicate with you. In her interpretation, 333 is associated with the presence of benevolent spiritual beings offering guidance and support. If you find yourself consistently waking at 3:33 a.m., it might be worth considering the possibility that there's a spiritual dimension to your experience. Try setting an intention before you go to sleep. Ask for guidance on a specific issue in your life. When you wake up at 3:33 a.m., pay attention to any thoughts, feelings, or impressions you receive. They might contain the answers you're seeking. 6. The shadow self emerges. Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, introduced the concept of the shadow self, the part of our psyche that contains repressed ideas, weaknesses, and instincts. Your 3:33 a.m. awakening might be your shadow self demanding attention. During our waking hours, we often push uncomfortable thoughts and emotions aside. But in the quiet of the night, when our defenses are down, these suppressed aspects of ourselves can surface. The specific time of 3:33 a.m. might hold significance for your subconscious, serving as a trigger for these shadow elements to emerge. Instead of resisting these early morning awakenings, try embracing them as opportunities for self-discovery. When you wake up, take a few moments to reflect on any uncomfortable thoughts or emotions that arise. Are there aspects of yourself you've been denying or avoiding? By acknowledging and integrating these shadow elements, you might find that your 3:33 a.m. wake-ups become less frequent or less distressing. 7. The cosmic connection. Have you ever considered that your 3:33 a.m. wake-up call might be connected to something much larger than yourself? Some researchers in the field of quantum physics suggest that everything in the universe is interconnected at a fundamental level. Dr. Dean Radin, chief scientist at the Institute of Noetic Sciences, has conducted studies on what he calls quantum entanglement in time. This theory proposes that events in the future can influence the present, creating a sort of backwards causality. Your 3:33 a.m. awakening could be a result of this cosmic connection. Perhaps there's a significant event in your future that's resonating backwards through time, causing you to wake up at this specific moment. While this might sound far-fetched, it's worth considering as you try to unravel the mystery of your nighttime awakenings. 8. The anxiety. Anxiety and stress can significantly impact our sleep patterns, and the 3:33 a.m. wake-up might be a manifestation of underlying worry or fear. What makes this time particularly potent for anxiety is its isolation. The world is quiet, most people are asleep, and you're left alone with your thoughts. Dr. Charles Chisler, Chief of the Division of Sleep and Circadian Disorders at Brigham and Women's Hospital, notes that our ability to regulate emotions is diminished during the early morning hours. This could explain why concerns that seem manageable during the day can feel overwhelming at 3:33 a.m. If anxiety is behind your wake-ups, try implementing some relaxation techniques. Practice deep breathing exercises when you find yourself awake. You might also try progressive muscle relaxation, starting from your toes and working your way up to your head, tensing and then relaxing each muscle group. 9. The environmental trigger. Sometimes, the reason for waking at 3:33 a.m. might be more mundane than we think. Environmental factors can play a significant role in disrupting our sleep patterns. Have you considered that there might be a recurring noise or light source activating at this time? Dr. Michael Bruce, a clinical psychologist and sleep specialist, suggests that even subtle environmental changes can impact our sleep. This could be anything from a neighbor's air conditioning unit kicking onto a street light flickering outside your window. To investigate this possibility, try to be more aware of your surroundings when you wake up at 3:33 a.m. Is there a sound you can hear? A change in the light in your room? You might even consider setting up a camera or sound recorder to capture any environmental changes during the night. 10. The call to creativity. Your 3:33 a.m. wake-up might not be a problem to solve, but an opportunity to embrace. Many artists, writers, and creative thinkers throughout history have found the early morning hours to be particularly conducive to inspiration and productivity. Salvador Dali, the renowned surrealist painter, used to deliberately wake himself up after a short nap to capture the vivid imagery from the threshold between sleep and wakefulness. He believed this state, which he called slumber with a key, was a source of his creative genius. Your consistent waking at 3:33 a.m. could be your mind's way of carving out a quiet, uninterrupted time for creative thought. Instead of fighting against these awakenings, try using them as an opportunity for creative expression. Keep a sketch pad or journal by your bed. When you wake up, spend a few minutes jotting down ideas, sketching images, or writing snippets of poetry or prose. You might be surprised by the creativity that flows during these early morning hours. If you have made it this far, comment down below with the word 100% to confirm that you have received the knowledge from this video. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.